Welcome back to the Tul World podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
Hello there, Mr. Jew.
Hello. All right, this week we're covering protesting in tournaments.
I'm protesting.
Yeah, protesting. And so...
I'm protesting
what can you protest? Yeah, what can you protest?
Just don't get a mob of people protesting something.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we were talking about protesting in a tournament. What is allowed? So in our organization, if you want to protest, it's $100. Put your money down with what you want to say.
Right.
Otherwise, don't even bother.
Right. And it also has to be done with the head coach at like a larger tournament.
Right. It has to be done in a certain amount of time. So what can you protest? Well, what's your thoughts? Go ahead, you tell me.
You can protest anything that's outside of the rules. No. Let me say that again. You can protest anything that you feel is wrong.
Yeah.
Sure,
why not?
Score wrong. He missed 3 movements. The other guy didn't hit him. Faulty computer work.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can protest.
Yeah.
Just remember that if you lose your $100. And also in our organization, you cannot have video as instant replay.
Right.
So then you're kind of like, well, I guess like you see a lot of instant replay nowadays because, like football, you see a lot more of that. Is because people think that, you're not being fair. The judges are not fair.
Right.
And judging is subjective. I don't care. I don't care how you think about it. It really is subjective. And if I vote for America, maybe that's what I'm teaching. And I think that's correct. Versus someone else,
So should we be allowed to? We could look at it from both patterns and sparring perspective, right? I guess you could even do it for breaking. Should video be allowed in your use of a protest? Especially now that our cameras are getting so good. You get a 4K of someone just doing Chun-Ji, right, in the competition. So let's look at patterns first, right? What are some common things you might see at protests? Wrong hand being raised, wrong... Maybe you're seeing some of those scores too, right? So should the video be allowed? Oh, somebody missed 3 movements, but the other judges still scored higher for the other guy.
I've been at a match in patterns and someone might have missed a couple movements or something.
But all the other judges are looking the other way, right?
Right. So they gave. So the head, the tournament committee says, "Why you vote that way?" Well, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
It's like
humans,
that can happen. It's like
yeah.
you see both people, and then you're like, "Oh, what's going on over there?" And
right.
this person, you might not have done anything. And that actually happened to one of my students at one of these tournaments, and he missed like 3 or 4 movements, and he won. It's like, how did you? And I went up to him and says, "You're so lucky.
Yeah.
You're so lucky that they didn't even see that."
Right.
And so I think that video could, but on the other hand, oh my gosh. You might have a lot of protests on everything, and you might end up having to, if it's already a 5-day event, maybe it's going to be a 10-day event.
Yeah.
Just because you're tying up that time. It's not even just maybe they made a mistake in the movement. Maybe even as much as like instead of a high punch, they did a flat fingertip thrust.
Right.
Right? That's a mistake. That should have deduct a point or something on the technical.
Right.
And yet he still won. And you go, you could, if you had videotape, you could prove that.
Yeah.
But again, I think the videos can make it longer, and it's true. But if you have 5 judges in patterns and the majority says winner,
yeah,
I know it's kind of hard to dispute that.
Right.
However,
if it's close,
well, even I don't think you can really dispute a judge. It's their judgment about whether the pattern was correct or who was better, who's not better.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
I think you could still protest if, for instance, and that would be hard. Everyone raises blue, but one person raises red. Maybe he was meaning to say blue, but he raised red.
He had it in the wrong hand.
Could have had the that could
happens
happen.
all the time.
That happens, and so I would protest that.
Yeah.
Hey, the guy had it in the wrong hand.
Right, but if you don't have the video, if you didn't have like video of it, how would they know? I mean,
well,
the guy's just like, whoa, I think I had it in the right hand, right? I've seen that.
Right, but I mean, if they're holding or sitting down, they have red and blue and they had it in the wrong hand, and you finally notice it at the end, you got to say something right away.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to raise the wrong hand.
Right.
The wrong flag. But that's also, okay, so that's talking about flags, but now we have electronics, so you can't see that, right? And so all you see is this big screen of red, blue, and you go, that guy voted for a red? What was he looking at?
Right.
Again, it's just judgment. You can protest that. I think the thing you could protest is like maybe a bracket, but you better be really on top of your bracket sheet, meaning that they advanced the wrong person. You should definitely protest that.
Well, the electronics should take care of that now because it's winner just gets that when it goes in, right?
But
hopefully.
It's human still.
Yeah.
The person that punches that button. So electronic, it's just punching them. Could be that. But I think protesting patterns would be kind of difficult.
Okay, let's look at sparring. When do you see protests in sparring? And I think this can happen sometimes. Or
example?
People feel like they were being scored against.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, you do see that. They feel like they won. And sometimes you look at it and you go, how did that guy win?
Right.
It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I do think that happens. But let's talk a little bit about how does that video come into it. So if you're watching the Olympics, they don't have the sensors in the head for their kicking. So when they see someone do a head kick, they raise their card. Right?
Well, they have a video actually.
They have a video, right? So then they go back. They're like kind of like zooming in. They're like, did it touch? Okay, it touched, right? And then they'll give them the
so the video
value.
can kind of takes away the umpire's scoring, or it kind of helps affirm, or it helps with that subjective.
Right. So I think they have less judges. They focus more, on the electronic system on the body, and in the video for like head, right? Or maybe warnings, stuff like that. So then they zoom in and they have one person who goes, yes, good, or no, right?
And then they go, there's a dispute, and so they go to the video, and you see just the tip of the little toe touches the head,
right?
And that's a score.
But that's the same thing with like football too,
right?
They do that video replay. Oh, did his foot land in the end zone, right? Did it touch before he fell over, right? And so that might be the difference between first down, second down, touchdown, things like that, right?
Yeah, you're gonna
have
my
knowledge of football right there. So,
yeah. And that happened with this last Chiefs and Bills game where looks like the Bills might have gotten the first down, and the judges said no.
Yeah.
And they took instant replay. No.
Right.
And all the Bills fans go, are you kidding? What's wrong with your camera?
Right. Yeah. So should we be using this kind of technology? And we can approach from two different angles. Should people be able to use the videos from people taking on the outside and they present it as a protest? And should the rings be using it within as a ITF certified thing? Right?
Well, it comes down to the rules, and our current organization says no, so you can't bring that in to protest.
Yeah.
So, and it is subjective sometimes, because like I'll look at a video and you go, yeah, or I'll watch a match. You lost?
Yeah.
It seemed like you had that under control.
Right.
But unless you're actually scoring, and even as an umpire, you can be swayed. And I don't care. You're supposed to be subjective, but you can be swayed a little bit. Or you only have one angle. Because of the angle, you see that person scoring all the time, but you couldn't see the other person score.
Yeah.
Because of that angle, right? And so, is that judge being biased?
No,
not
maybe
necessarily.
not, because his back might just be turned.
That's right.
All the time.
But I think that, not to say, just that, if you're in a match and someone pulls someone out because you think that there's bias, then you're questioning his judging ability, right? Whether he is or he isn't. But that's just their point of view. That's why you have 4 judges.
Right.
I don't know. If it seems like it is blatant, then maybe it is. I don't know. But
I
that's true
I think
too.
it'd be good too. Yeah.
I mean, you see some of these guys that are like, oh, that person always wins, and you kind of like, and so you end up watching that person. You don't watch the other person. You just say, oh, score, score, score. Yeah, score, score, score. Right. And you don't even see the underdog.
Right.
And as much as you want to try to, eliminate that. So then you could probably, but like I was saying, I could watch something and go, you lost, and then you go back and you have a video of it, and you go, and then you can start counting. Right. Oh yeah, score. Yeah, I think you won.
But the problem is that it's from a different angle.
Right, it's filmed at a different angle.
So I think there's a lot of benefits if you had something like the tournament is filming it.
Right.
And they go, this is the only thing that's allowed. And then you could kind of go back and, hey, yeah, he, I don't know, did do that kick to the head, but wasn't scored by anyone? I don't know. I mean, I think the rules might be changing in that sense.
Maybe. That's also true like breaking.
Yeah.
Because when you think about like a flying high kick, you got to kick with the ball of the foot.
Right. But maybe it was the
toe,
but it was like still pulled back. So
slightly, but it was the,
Yeah.
And it clicked the board, and so that counted.
Right, but it looked like it was the ball of the foot. So it is possible.
It's possible.
So I guess at some point, as technology kind of increases, I think that might be something that comes to be, especially as people get a lot better. And it also does take away some of that subjectivity, right? If you're looking at like that flying high kick, they go through, they replay it. No, it wasn't.
Right.
Right. But we all know those kicks go fast. I mean, you can kind of tell. You can tell, but...
The best way to make that eliminate is if you can break it, doesn't matter what the tool is, fine. It's broken.
Yeah.
Step side piercing kick. And you hit it with the ball of the foot, and you broke 10. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's broken.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't have to... I mean, I guess someone's will be watching, he kicked with the wrong part of the foot. I'm going to protest that.
Right.
You could, because technically it's not correct.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Well, let us know your guys' thoughts. We had a little bit two different topics here, protesting and the inclusion of videos within your protest or scoring-wise. Anyway, so let us know your guys' thoughts. As always, don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Taekwon.